and welcome to this session, Correspondence Course, Advantage, Disadvantage and Scope. The tremendous pace at which science and technology is progressing makes it essential for people to develop their knowledge and skills in order to keep themselves abreast of the current trends in their fields of work. These are indeed global phenomena and not confined to any particular country. In this vast and fast-growing world, where people and their favorite institutions are separated by great distances, often obstructing the mainstream style of education, the distance mode will prove to be useful in many cases. The increase in general population as well as continuing expansion of the basis of elementary and secondary level education has exerted considerable pressure on the demand for various types and level of courses leading to higher education. The problems faced by the existing system, such as high cost of educational schemes, lack of relevance of curricula to job markets, inequality of educational opportunities, lack of flexibility to provide the desirable quality and quantity of higher education, etc., have led to the search for new and innovative methods of imparting educational instructions which should be low cost as well as effective in its delivery system. In such a context, distance education is considered to be an appropriate system. Distance education is defined as the form of learning process which involves very little contact between the teacher and the student, or in other words, in distance learning or distance education, the teacher and learner are separated geographically and by time. Not only this, distance education largely depends on print media, postal media and communication technologies like radio, TV, telephone, computers, etc. The various distance education methods practiced in different countries have the major characteristics like the separation of student and teacher, use of technical media, two-way communication, absence of group learning, privatization of learning. Because of this potential to solving the educational problems of the modern world, many countries have recognized distant education as an important constituent of their national educational system for the following reasons. Because of its openness and innovative methods of teaching, it has been seen as means of equalizing educational opportunities among all the sections of society. Recognition of significance of continuing education in keeping the individuals abreast of their fields of studies. Because distance education institutions are supposed to provide education professional courses, they are seen as supplier or skilled manpower, the need for which has been rising, relieving of enrollment pressure on traditional institutions of higher education. Meeting of educational needs at low cost as compared to other alternative methods of teaching. In conventional system of education at any level, secondary or tertiary teaching learning takes place in classrooms where the students and teachers meet regularly at fixed timing. Distant education was an educational mode, supplementary, complementary and alternative to conventional, traditional system of education. Today it has evolved into an independent system of education. A correspondence course is a form of distant education. Correspondence courses are those where there is no direct classroom interaction. The typical correspondence course involves the exchange of teaching materials between a student and a teacher geographically remote from each other. Here study material is sent through mail to the student. The lesson plans, lecture notes and problem sets are sent by the instructor to the student. The mode of study is self mode. The student sends completed assignments back to the instructor for grading. The student finally has to give the exam at the authorized center and exams are administered by a protector local to the student. A high school correspondence course will generally be administered at the state or provincial level, whereas a university level correspondence course will be administered by the university itself or a union of universities. The largest such institution in the world is the Open University in the United Kingdom. Traditionally, a correspondence course could work no faster than the mail system. With improvements in technology, communication has become virtually instantaneous. Lecture notes and problem sets can be distributed by email or posted on a website. Even textbooks can be distributed in electronic form as PDF files. Advantages of correspondence course. Correspondence courses have several benefits over traditional courses. You can enjoy a lot of advantages when you choose a correspondence course as your educational tool. This is the reason why correspondence courses are becoming more and more popular. Interactive. In a correspondence study, you have to cooperate very closely with the course materials and the other students whether you meet them or not. This will improve your knowledge and increase benefit from the course. You can also implement your diverse computer knowledge that you learn while handling your distance learning course to a good use in other walks of life. Easy and simplified method. In this method of learning, one can easily apply online and order the course material, having it sent to their home. All that is required is an internet connection or a computer, and you can do your correspondence course from anywhere in the world. This provides a lot of flexibility to professionals, especially if they have a traveling job. Online classes address physical accessibility issues that some people with limited mobility encounter when taking traditional classes. You don't have to worry about gaining access to a classroom or sitting on an uncomfortable desk. The correspondence courses can be accessed by anyone from anywhere in the world. This has made the world a smaller place in terms of connectivity. Efficacy. Correspondence courses are a very effective tool nowadays when technology is well developed. It gives you the ability to cooperate with updated and extensive information. The key advantages of correspondence courses lies in the fact that you are not supposed to be at the place where lectures are being held. The lectures are planned by the institution themselves and they send the printed notes at your doorstep through courier or post. That saves a lot of your time when the institution is far away from your place, as you need not spend time traveling. Convenience. Since all the classes are asynchronous, you have the liberty to review your assignments or do your homework during off hours or at home. Another advantage is that in the regular courses, you need to take down notes for a particular lecture. Here you do not have the need to take down the notes, as they are all available in the printed form and delivered straight to you. In the regular courses, the lectures are conducted at a fixed time. Self-paced learning. In case of correspondence learning, you have the advantage of learning and understanding at your own pace. This reduces unnecessary stress and increases satisfaction. The correspondence courses allow you to have flexibility in terms of time. There are no strict timetables that needs to be followed or deadlines to submit assignments. You can analyze and then focus on the subject according to your schedule and availability of time. It is a boon for people who are slow learners and often are left in a lurch when they are in a large group, and in end it affects their self-esteem very badly. These people can pace their learning speed in their own way. Cost. Another important factor is that correspondence courses save your hard-earned money. If you are pursuing distance education, then you don't need to stay in the same area or even the same country, spending money on traveling and staying at hostels. You can be continents apart and still pursue the course successfully. Disadvantages of correspondence course. With all the advantages of correspondence courses, it is possible for people to think that these courses are perfect and it is not possible for them to have any disadvantages. But contrary to popular belief, there are some major shortcomings to these courses. Some of the important ones are the following. Physical interaction. One of the greater disadvantages of distance education is the physical interaction between teachers and students, which does not take place at all. You do not get the opportunity to interact with teachers and other students on a personal basis. Often it has been seen that these interactions help in building a person's personality. And while undertaking the course, they study alone from their home. As a result, students sometimes lose their motivation to study, and that can affect their career as a whole. Social isolation. Distance learners may feel isolated or miss that social physical interaction that comes with attending a traditional classroom. However, this impersonality has been lessening with advances and the use of communication technologies such as bulletin boards, threaded discussions, chats, email, and conferencing. Accessibility. Although computers have become very common in today's world, it is not necessary that everyone should own one and have the basic knowledge about it. The biggest shortcoming can be that to complete successful e-learning, you need to have a computer which has speed internet access. Hence, people who are technologically challenged will not be able to take full advantage on online courses. Unavailability of desired courses. Another disadvantages of the distant education course is that it does not offer all the desired courses to the students. Although there are many courses online, but the ones which are in demand with the traditional classes are missing. Accreditation. Students interested in a correspondence course must take care of to verify the accreditation of the program. Particularly, the so-called diploma mills are notorious for offering low-quality courses leading to unrecognized degrees. Many people who opt for distant learning courses have had troubles with employers, as still companies prefer people with traditional degrees over people who have obtained their degrees through a computer. The jobs prospects might not be as bright with a correspondence course as otherwise. Management. Distance education is best only if a person is able to manage or juggle between his job and his studies. You have to put in a lot of efforts to study and work. Feedback. In a traditional classroom setting, the student's performance can be immediately assessed through questions and informal testing. With distance learning, you have to wait for feedback until the instructor has reviewed their work and responded to it. Growing importance of correspondence course. Education has posed as the second greatest challenge for modern world. It is a sector where the government should have pumped in more funds. The fire to study and educate oneself is no doubt a healthy indication, but that often gets drained due to lack of proper facilities. It was the stumbling block that was removed with the emergence of distance education. Distance education has opened a new window of opportunities for those who are craved for further studies. In a way, it has helped numerous professionals, dropouts, and housewives to accomplish their unfinished dreams. It is an educational innovation to meet the ever-increasing and diversified educational needs and demands of the society, which are sequel to changing social, economical, and other conditions on one hand and technological developments on the other. Correspondence course is innovative in the sense that it sets up its own norms, approaches, and methodology which are different from the face-to-face system of education. It can be non-conformist and non-traditional in nature. It makes adequate provision to impart instruction to learners at a distance by incorporating a variety of means for didactic interaction between its students and the teachers and the institution. According to the University Grants Commission, the objective of correspondence education is to provide an alternative mode of education so as to enable those with necessary aptitude to acquire further knowledge and improve their professional competence. Correspondence courses are thus intended to cater for students who have discontinued their formal education owing to pecuniary and other circumstances, students in geographically remote area, students who had to discontinue education because of lack of aptitude and motivation but who may later on become motivated, students who cannot find a seat or do not wish to join a regular college or university department although they have necessary qualifications to pursue higher education. Individuals who look upon education as a lifetime activity and may either like to refresh their knowledge in an existing discipline or to acquire knowledge in new areas. In-service persons. Factors to be taken into consideration in correspondence courses. Correspondence education is essentially based on supply of instructional material for home study, but has to be supported and supplemented by personal contact programs, student responses, library facilities, study center, radio programs and audio-visual aids. A well-conceived program of correspondence education can be as effective and meaningful as regular daytime instruction in a college or a university or department, and every possible effort must be made to make it effective. Correspondence courses can be tried out in different levels and in different subjects in humanities, social sciences, and in some of the professional areas like law, social work, library training, engineering and technology, and therefore facilities should be as diversified as possible. Correspondence courses should be breadth-based to include job-oriented courses, continuing education and extension program as also technical and professional course. Preparation of instructional materials is crucial for the success of correspondence courses. This would require adequate preparation for the division of the course into integrated units and for supply of lessons to the students well in time. Lessons should be written by the best available persons individually or in teams of 3 or 4 selected on certain criteria. The panel lesson writers should be drawn up by subject committees, each committee consisting of 5-9 members with the due representation of the university department or persons with special knowledge. When new courses are introduced or when existing courses are restructured, there should be advanced preparation for lessons. Dispatch of lessons should be done very carefully. The Institute of Correspondence course should ensure that the lessons are dispatched in time at regular intervals and in time. A schedule should be laid down for dispatch of the lessons properly. An Institute of Correspondence courses should have minimum number of staff so that they can take care of optional papers and areas of specialization of students. The total staff strength should be determined on the basis of student enrollment and workload and other consideration. An important aspect of correspondence course should be a properly organized and extensive library service. Since correspondence method lay emphasis on independent reading and studying, it should be one of the primary concerns of correspondence course institute to provide an efficient service to the student. Today, correspondence courses have become a convenient and a popular medium of finishing education and obtaining professional or regular degrees. Correspondence studies are widely popular among working professionals and adults who cannot quit their jobs due to work commitments and other important issues. People who live at the remotest area and have no good means to reach schools or colleges often enroll for these courses. The other benefit of correspondence course is that you can start learning at your own pace. With no pressure and set class times, you can decide when to finish your assignments and readings. Some programs also give liberty to design your own degree plan. Correspondence courses are also suitable for the students who feel hesitant being mobbed by a group of people like in classroom. Such students can study at their homes with no anxiety. You can study from anywhere and at any time. There is no restriction on your location and time. What is more important for you is to have a good access of internet connection. This is because most of the material you get in correspondence studies is by emails, so internet connectivity is required for your studies. The most important benefit of correspondence courses is they are cost effective as compared to other regular degrees. Correspondence education has thus opened a new window of opportunities for those who craved for their further studies. Let us summarize the major ideas discussed so far. In the vast and fast-growing world where people and their favorite institutions are separated by great distances, often obstructing the mainstream style of education, the distance mode will prove to be useful in many cases. The problems faced by the existing system, such as high cost of educational schemes, lack of relevance of curricula, to job markets, inequality of educational opportunities. Lack of flexibility to provide the desirable quality and quantity of higher education, etc., have led to the search for new and innovative method of imparting educational instructions which should be low cost as well as effective in its delivery system. In such a context, correspondence education is considered to be an appropriate system. Because of its potential to solving the educational problems of the modern world, many countries have recognized distance education or otherwise correspondence education as an important constituent of their national education system. A correspondence course is a form of distance education. Correspondence courses are those where there is no direct classroom interaction. The typical correspondence courses involves the exchange of teaching materials between a student and teacher geographically remote from each other. Here, study materials sent through mail to the student. The lesson plans, lecture notes and problem sets are sent by the instructor to the student. The mode of study is self-mode. Correspondence courses have several benefits over traditional courses. In a correspondence study, you have to cooperate very closely with the course materials and the other students, which will help improve your knowledge. In the method of learning, one can easily apply online and order the course material, having it sent to their home. All this is required is an internet connection and a computer. Online classes address physical accessibility issues that some people with limited mobility encounter when taking traditional classes. It gives you the ability to cooperate with updated and extensive information. The key advantages of correspondence courses lies in fact that you are not supposed to be at the place where lectures are being held. In case of correspondence learning, you have the advantage of learning and understanding at your own pace. This reduces unnecessary stress and increases satisfaction. Another important factor is that correspondence courses save your hard-earned money. If you are pursuing distant education, then you don't need to stay in the same area or even in the same country, spending money on traveling and staying at hostels. With all the advantages of correspondence courses, it also has various disadvantages. One of the greater disadvantages of distant education is the physical interaction between teacher and students, which does not take place at all. As a result, students sometimes lose their motivation to study, and that can affect their career as a whole. The biggest shortcoming can be that to complete successful e-learning, you need to have a computer which has a speed internet access. Hence, people who are technologically challenged will not be able to take full advantages to online courses. Unavailability of desired courses is another disadvantage. Many people who opt for distant learning courses have had troubles with employers, as still companies prefer people with traditional degrees. With distance learning, you have to wait for feedback until the instructor has reviewed their work and responded to it, which is not the case with traditional classes. Even with the few disadvantages, correspondence education has opened a new window of opportunities for those who have craved for further studies. In a way, it has helped numerous professionals, dropouts and housewives to accomplish their unfinished dreams. The unit ends with explaining the various factors that should be considered for correspondence courses to be a successful venture. Now you can try to answer the questions given here. What are the advantages of correspondence courses? What are the disadvantages of correspondence courses? What are the factors to be considered in a correspondence education method to be successful? What are the characteristics of distance education? Now you may go through the book for further reference. Economics of Distance Higher Education, M. Hansari, Concept Publishing Company, 1992. Hope that this session was useful for you. See you again with another topics. Until then, bye.